Konnichiwa everybody, welcome back. We've got a bit of a specials pickup episode here, in the fact that it's come from two awesome fellow YouTubers. So I thought I'd bunch it all together and do sort of a special of just these two separate pickups from two separate guys on the tubes, and put it all together in one episode rather than, you know, do a regular type pickups thing. We've got a bit of a mixed bag, quite a few different things to be honest, spanning quite a few generations, so there's probably something for everybody. But I'll just start off by saying, if you're not subscribed to these tubers, I'm sure if you're watching me you are, but if for whatever reason you're not, I'll put links in the description down below. Go check out the channels because they're both awesome guys and they've both got phenomenal collections and they do awesome pickups videos. They're just some of the best, you know, guys on YouTube. So go check them out. If for whatever mad reason you haven't already, go check them out. Do yourself a favour. I think what I might do is I might do all of the one bundle and then all of the second bundle rather than mix them up. So I think to start off with, we'll go with I thought I'd have a change with the backdrop. Let me know what you think. I just thought I'd mix it up a bit. We've got the mighty Shenryu on the Saturn and the even mightier Daytona USA 2. Right, so first of all, this bundle of stuff is all off Eddie. Sure, you know, you're all watching Eddie's channel, but like I say, I'll put a link in the description. What a guy! It's the I think this is the second or the I think it's the second bundle I've had off Eddie. Could be the third. I don't know. Anyway, this has been building up over the past couple of months since I did the last one, and just been trying to get the money together to pay for them really, which I did do a week or so ago, and I turned up, so here we are. We'll start off with, well, there's no particular order really, but we'll start off with the PSP I think. I haven't actually tried these yet. First one I've picked up is Capcom Puzzle World, which has got, I think it's 3 games on here. Yeah, Puzzle Fighter 2, Buster Brothers or Pang, whichever you want to call it, and Block Block. Don't think I've ever played Block Block. No, I'm pretty sure I haven't. Played Puzzle Fighter 2, but the reason I bought it was Pang really. They're all these are complete by the way. I won't open them all up, but they are all complete. Yeah, a few months ago now, I did the video. I was toying with selling the PSP, but decided to keep it. And there ain't many I want to buy for it. There might be 5 or 10 left I'd like to get. But anyway, that's the first one, Capcom Puzzle World. And the next one I've picked up is Street Fighter Alpha Max. Sorry, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, or 03 Max. I'm not sure how well that's going to play. I mean, it's probably good. I just pulling the moves off on a handheld. I can't see it being very easy, but you know, you got to buy Street Fighter, haven't you? So, Street Fighter 03, and then the last PSP game I picked up off Eddie was Me and My Katamari. Now I'm sure I had this way back, you know, when the PSP come out. I've only ever had one Katamari game, and I'm pretty sure it was this one. I've never had the actual PS2 ones. I think there's one on the PS3, isn't there? I seem to remember it was all right though. It's a bit of, you know, bit of a mad game, and it rolling the ball around, picking more stuff up, making your whatever you want to call it bigger and bigger. It's a bit different, and I do really like different, to be honest. Right, I think, what should we do next? We'll do PS2 next. I've been on a bit of a well, I say I've been on a shooting kick. I've started playing shooters anyway last year sometime, and it seems to be the main focus of where I'm at the moment. I seem to be buying a lot of shooters in recent months. So I've picked up another one, Mobile Light Force 2. Now this is under known as a different name in Japan. I'm pretty sure it's Castle of Shikigami. It's one of the Shikigami games. I think it's Castle of Shikigami. But weirdly, there's a Mobile Light Force 1 on the PS1, which is absolutely nothing to do with this, really, aside from it's a shooter. But the artwork is very similar. But the PS1 game is Gunbird, and yet this PS2 game, for some crazy reason, they gave it the same name. I mean, I don't know why they didn't stick with Gunbird. It's far better than this. I mean, this as a name and box art for me is total crap. But nevertheless, it's a good game. This is, and I'm pretty sure. Was it this one? Might not have been this one actually, but there is a Tarte mode on this, which was brilliant. I think I've put some footage up of this. I think really good game. Is this the one that was more kind of a boss rush type game? I think it was this. I think it was the boss rush one. This, but anyway, it's really good. It is going up in price, so you know it might be one to jump on if you like your shooters. But really good. Then in a similar vein, we've also got the Gunbird collection, called Gunbird Special Edition, but it's got Gunbird 1 and 2 on it. So, you know, I don't know why the hell didn't they call the PS1 version Gunbird? Crazy. Sure you've played Gunbird, cracking shooters. So I'm sure this one has got a 60Hz mode on it, from memory. Again, I'll put some footage up all being well. But awesome collection that is. Two great games. I mean, that's, if you're into shooters, that's a must buy on the PS2, in my opinion. So I'm pleased to have it at last, really. I think I've got it on something else. I think it's the Dreamcast. Right, the last PS2 one we've got is Assault Suits Valken. This links to another one that I've also picked up off Eddie. So I won't mention that just at the minute. But anyway, this is a sequel to previous games on other systems, where you control this kind of robot mech type character, and it's a bit of a side-scrolling kind of a run and gun, but it started life on the Super Nintendo, and the PAL name for it was Cybernator. So if you know what Cybernator is, you'll know, or you'll have an idea what this is like. I wasn't sure about this when I asked him to put this to one side for me, but I've played the first level now, and I mean, I know I haven't played much, I've only played the first level, but it's really good actually. So I'm really chuffed I had this one. Again, this is probably one that's going to increase in price, you know, in the future. But if you like that kind of run and gun type game, that might be one to check out. Assault Suits Valken on the PS2. Right, I think we'll go. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do the one it links to. This is the one I actually wanted in the first place, and that led Eddie to sell me that other one, because he's a good salesman. And it was Assault Suits Lenos 2 on the Saturn that I actually wanted. I'd missed out on this on eBay a few months ago now, and it's always been at the back of my mind ever since. This is kind of a sequel to the SNES game, and then that Valken is like a sequel to this game, as I understand. So again, it's another run and gun mech type game. I think that, yeah, this one had the spine card as well. But yeah, this is a really good game as well. I've only played a bit of it like that other one, but it's a cracking game. Again, hopefully I've put some footage up so you can see it. But yeah, thanks for talking me into that PS2 sequel, Eddie, because that was much better than I was expecting, and I'm really liking that so far. I think we'll go PS1. Shall we go PS1? No, we'll leave that. We'll leave the PS1. We'll go Wii. Now I know the Wii gets a lot of stick, and you know, maybe it's right in to some extent, but it is a damn good console in my opinion. I don't like the motion controls, never will, never have. But that aside, there is some beltingly good games on the Wii, and I'm a big fan. I haven't got most of the ones I want now. There's just, well, after I've got these off Eddie, there's probably maybe another 5 or 6 that I'm looking for. First one I've got off Eddie is Alien Syndrome. Now, it's only a cheap game, but I played this on the Master System Challenge and thought it was quite good. So I was just curious to see what it was like. It's not brilliant. I don't think it looks too bad, to be honest, but unfortunately the controls seem crap because there's some reliance on the Wii remote, and your character seems to turn based on where you position the Wii remote. Really don't like that, which is a shame. I don't know if this is out on the PS3 or 360. If it is, it might be a lot better. But it's on the PSP. I know I've recently bought that on the PSP. I don't think I've tried it yet. If it was, I don't know if it is or not. Probably not. But if it was, it'd be much better with dual sticks, because the basic premise looks all right, really. It's just a modernised version of the old Master System game, which I know was an arcade. But you know, hopefully I've put some footage up so you can at least see what it looks like. It is a cheap game should you want to pick it up from CEX. This one's been on my sort of Wii list to get for ages and ages, and that's Deadly Creatures. I was kind of wanting. I primarily started collecting the Wii because it was so cheap, thinking at some point in the future the prices of these are going to go up, and I still think that's the case. It will happen at some point, especially when people realise that actually, if you look beyond the motion controls, it's a bloody good system. However, there are lots of like rarer Wii games which obviously didn't sell too well because it wasn't the market that the Wii was sort of big on, which was the family-friendly kiddie market. So I wanted to collect all like the horror, more adult titles, shall we say. And we've got this Deadly Creatures, and that kind of fits into that set that I wanted. This one's got a 12 rating on it. Not the kind of thing I'd play, to be honest, but it's kind of a 3D. Well, the bit I've played anyway, you control like a spider, and you're walking around like a forest and you're killing other animals. It's supposed to be quite good actually, but you can only see that going up in price. The next one, Metal Slug Anthology. How can you go wrong with Metal Slug? It's got Metal Slug 1, 2, 3, X, 4, 5 and 6. I mean, what a compilation. You just can't beat it. It's just brilliant. There are a couple of other SNK collections on the Wii, which are the three. I need 3 of them, and they're 3 of like the half dozen I actually want to pick up for the Wii now. We've now got 2 big hitters. These are 2 of the. Well, they're 2 of the biggest hitters on the Wii, I'd say. I don't think I'd have ever bought these, you know, in the wild, to be honest. It was only when I saw where Eddie was selling and I asked him I sort of sent him the list of the ones I was looking for, and he got these two. So it was kind of fated, and I thought, if I don't buy them now, I probably never will. So hence the reason I've picked up these two real big hitters on the Wii. The first one is Calling, which is a horror game. Now, I don't really play horror games, to be honest, but like I said, I've made sure I've bought them all for the Wii, because obviously they're valuable on anything, but on the Wii they're obviously scarce, and I can see them being crazy money in the future. And this is the last one I needed. I've had a quick go. It looks alright, to be fair. Its gimmick is you use the Wii remote as a telephone, and you seem to get like phone calls, you know, with clues and nothing. According to the box, you get phone calls off dead people. It might be quite good, I don't know. There was some motion controls involved in aiming where you wanted to walk when I tried it, which put me off a bit, but nevertheless I'm chuffed to have it, because that one's going really quite pricey, and it's getting quite tricky to buy, to find in the first place. Then the last Wii title is, this is like a big hitter, and it's quite expensive on the Wii, which is a bit unfortunate, because it's a game I really fancied playing. I toyed with buying the Japanese one, but I was a bit concerned about the language, and not knowing how much text was in the game. So I reluctantly, I didn't buy the Jap one, and then chance, came along. I've had this off Eddie, and it's a Shadow's Tale. Now this is a really funky sort of platform puzzle game. It's kind of in the mould of the original Prince of Persia, but there's a kind of gimmick in that you're a shadow, and you've been extracted from your body by this evil dude at the start of the game, and then you've got to, you're a shadow, but you can only sort of run on and interact with shadows. You can't interact with the actual items in the game, but you've got to manipulate the platforms and areas in the actual real world to alter the shadows to enable you to do things within the level. Really looking forward to this. I've had a quick go. It looks really good. If you like that kind of thing, and you like the original Prince of Persia, where you cling on to things and then pull yourself up, that's quite similar. But it's not cheap, unfortunately, but it is looking like a really good game. I'm chuffed to have that one, because I must be honest, I didn't think I'd ever have that. Right, we've got two to go off here, and we've got PS1 titles. Now this first one, actually both of these two link to the person I've picked the second lot of stuff up from. The first one we've got is Incredible Crisis. Now I've seen the second person I'm going to talk about. I'm sure it was him. He picked up the Japanese version of this, and then I asked Eddie if he'd got it in the stuff he was selling, and he hadn't. But he said, I've got the English version, which is Incredible Crisis. The Japanese one's called Tondamo Crisis, I think, and it just looked really wacky and right up my street. It's surprising it ever got a PAL release, to be honest, because it's really like, well, it's wacky. You're like this Japanese dude who's going about his business, sort of going to work in the office, and then it's basically a series of mini games, what I've played so far anyway. But you're going to work in the office, and then all of a sudden there's like a motivational person comes in, and you're into like a rhythm dancing type Parappa the Rapper game. Then that finishes, and then this guy's day goes from bad to worse, and like a wrecking ball comes in through the office window, and then that turns into like a running away from this wrecking ball type mini game. It's mad, but I absolutely love it. Brilliant. I would have preferred the Japanese one, but again, I don't know if this one had got a 60Hz mode on it as well. might have had. Can't remember. But anyway, chuffed to have it. Brilliant little game. I mean, it's crazy and mad, and there's not much to it, but I love that kind of thing. Then the last one, we've got a Japanese PS1 game, and again, I'd seen this. The next tuber I've picked up stuff from, he also picked this up, and consequently, Eddie had offered it me a few weeks earlier, and I'd left it on the fence really, because I didn't really know anything about it. And then I've seen somebody else pick it up and show some gameplay. I thought that looks quite cool. So I then asked Eddie if he'd still got it, and he had. So that's how I've ended up with it. And it's called, if I can remember, well, it's Pluno Daibuken from the Groove Adventure Rave, because I think there's an RPG with this character in it, and this is kind of a spin-off game as I understand it. As you can see, it's a Konami game, and you play this little dude here with he's like a little snowman kind of. He's got like a carrot for a nose, and you seem to. It's like a platform game, and you're going around the levels picking up a load of different ice creams and lollipops and stuff, and they seem to give you different power-ups. But essentially, it's a platform game where you've got to get from left to right, you know, and get to the next level. But it looks really nice looking game. So I'm looking forward to playing that one a bit more. And I mean, it's another quirky Japanese game. It's just bang up my street. Bright, colourful, cracking little platform game. And that was the extent of the stuff I've picked up off Eddie. Cracking bundle of stuff. Really chuffed with it, mate. Thanks very much again for sorting me out. I just need some time to play it all now. But if you, like I say, I'm sure you've watched Eddie's videos. But click on the link in the description if you haven't, and go check Eddie out, because he's got an amazing channel. Right. Like I say, them last two games, I'd seen Nick at Red 7 show, and that's what prompted me to want them off Eddie. But while all that was going on with Eddie, I've also Nick offered me some stuff that he got for sale. And again, if you've not checked Nick's channel out, for God's sake, do yourself a favour and go check him out, because he's honestly, what a collection Nick has got. He's probably he's definitely one of my favourites on YouTube. It's just epic. His room is amazing, and he picks up the most amazing stuff. If you're not watching Nick's channel, for God's sake, do it. It's brilliant. One of the best guys on YouTube, Red 7. Again, there's a link in the description. Go check him out if you haven't already. So yeah, I've seen Nick pick those PS1 games up. That's nothing to do with what I've picked up off Nick. But anyway, I was predominantly looking for. Well, obviously, you've seen I've picked up a Neo Geo a few months ago, and sort of righted a wrong that my biggest regret of all the stuff I've ever sold. And obviously Nick's got an amazing collection of Neo Geo stuff, all MVS. I mean, it's almost a full collection. But I think he decided to sell a few AES cards, which is what I bought. And so he sent me a list of what he'd got. And there was 3 or 4 I would have liked, to be honest, but unfortunately just came at the wrong time. I could only afford a couple. Like I say, I'd have liked to have took 3 or 4 ideally, but you can only buy so much, can't you? And it was just with Christmas and everything, it was the most I could do, unfortunately. So anyway, obviously he lives the other side of the world, so it took a while to sort out and ship over and everything, but we got there eventually. And I've got to say, a big thanks, Nick. Honestly, mate, the extra stuff you threw in was much appreciated, and you went above and beyond, to be honest. But I can't thank you enough, mate. It was absolutely really generous of you, and I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, mate. So we'll run through the stuff he threw in extra, in addition to the stuff we'd negotiated. Now obviously you're probably well aware he's from, well, don't get me, he lives, I should say, he's not from, he lives in sort of Dubai kind of area. So the first thing, he sent me this cool sort of magnet, fridge magnet if you like, really cool. I'm going to stick that over there in a minute, because my TV unit's metal, so it's going to stick on the side of my TV a bit later. But then I couldn't quite believe it. He's also thrown in another 4 games in addition to the ones we'd sort of agreed on, which is super generous. And he knows how much I like my Japanese GameCube boxes. They're my favourite boxes of all, I think. They're just mega. So the first one he sent me extra is Mega what's this called? Mega Man Network Transmission. This one's called Rockman X Transmission, but the PAL version's Mega Man Network Transmission. It's kind of a Mega Man game with RPG elements. There's quite a lot of text, which does, you don't know what's going on really, but eventually you can get through it and you can actually play then the more traditional Mega Man game. Hopefully I've took some footage so you can see it. Got some beautiful cell shaded graphics on this, absolutely lovely looking thing. But just, I love these boxes, they're just amazing. But he's also then thrown in Pokemon Colosseum. Now this is a particularly box, I don't know if it'll come across on camera, but it's like metallic silver. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe. But anyway, wicked cool box. I did play this with my nephew years ago on the PAL version. I seem to remember it was alright as well. So I'll probably try that when I get round to it at some point. And then even better than that, we've got Crash Nitro Kart. I think it's Crash Nitro Kart, again on Japanese GameCube. I mean, who doesn't like a kart racer? It's in really nice condition as well, so I'm chuffed to bits with this, mate. This is absolutely brilliant of you. I can't believe it really, what you've thrown in. So again, just thanks very much. But yeah, hopefully again I'll put some footage up of that. It's just your traditional sort of kart racer, which you've probably played it on something. It's on many different consoles in it. Crush. There's a few versions, the Nitro Kart and what's the other one? Tag Team Racing or something. But it's a good little kart racer, that. And then the final sort of freebie he threw in. This was a bit of a cheeky one, this, because he'd seen, you know, I'd got a few sort of, he'd looked at my Switch collection video and he'd seen that I'd got a few of the more risque Switch titles. So he's thrown in Sushi Pie on the Saturn, which it's kind of, I don't know how to explain this really. It's really quite cool. There is a lot of Japanese text, but if you use your phone as a translator, you can't quite play it really. So I've had sort of half an hour on it. It starts off with a little shooting game, which is a bit bizarre, and I think there's other mini games in it from what I've read. But it's essentially like a dating simulator from what I can make out. And you're this dude, you know, and you walk around the town chatting girls up, I think, basically. And there was this, I got to this one scene, went in this one house. It was getting a bit pervy really, because there was this girl asleep, wearing not a lot, to be fair, and you walk into the house and start looking at her, and you can look her up and down. I mean, it was quite good. I mean, you can understand it's called The Throbbing Adventure. Who were Mrs. Really, it's really quite cool. Like I said, there's a lot of text, but if you translate it on your phone, it's not massive lengths of stuff. It's only a few lines you've got to read, and then you've got to make selections. Yes, no, you know, go out, come in, kind of thing. So I'm chuffed with her. There is a second disc. I'm not sure it's actually on that, because unless the game's just on 2 discs, I don't know. I haven't tried it. I don't know if it tells you anything. Oh, there. That's the little town you're walking around. You'll see it, if I put it up, some footage up, hopefully you'll see it, but you just walk around this town, and you just keep talking to like all the different women in the town. I think there's a few of these, to be honest, type games on the Saturn. I haven't looked into them really, so you might have sent me down a rabbit hole, Nick. So thank you. Really good. I'm chuffed with that. Right, we're on to the actual 2 that we negotiated, which, as I said, is for the Neo Geo AES. Like I say, there was 3 or 4 I would have liked in an ideal world, but I've just picked up these 2 at the moment. Now this one I had back in the day, which is why I wanted to buy it again, and I've picked up Art of Fighting 2, and in lovely condition. Even got the sticker on the side of this one. And we've got the manual still in the baggie. Wonderful condition, Nick. Absolutely chuffed with these, mate. My God, this game is brutal. It's far more brutal than I remember. I put it on for a quick go just to capture some footage. I couldn't even win a fight. So difficult. Don't remember it being like that. And it's getting old. It does nothing for your reflexes. However, I'm chuffed to have it back. I mean, at the time, honestly, the graphics on this were sensational. They really were. The characters were massive. You just couldn't get over how amazing it looked at the time. I mean, it still looks decent now, but at the time, you know, whenever this came out, I don't know when it was. Don't seem to say on here. Oh, 94. 94. This looked incredible. And then the last one I've picked up. This is epic, I've got to say. Now, I'm a massive fan of this series, and it's one of them, you know, it's the first game I ever got for the system back in the day. Not this version, but the original one. And realistically, there's about another 4 or 5 AES cartridges I would really like to get. Beyond that, anything else is a bonus. But I've picked up Real Bout Fatal Fury. Now this is a stunning game. It's a later release, as you can see. It's in like a Neo Geo pocket style clamshell. These boxes are so much nicer. Again, in lovely condition, and you get a CD style manual with these later games. What an amazing game this is. I'd played it before. I've never actually owned the AES version before. I'd moved on to the CD by the time this came out. So I'm absolutely chuffed to have this. I mean, I'm not going any further forward than this with the Fatal Furies on the AES, because they get stupidly expensive. I would now like Fatal Fury 3, and that'll complete my sort of it'll complete all the Fatal Furies up to real bouts if I could get Fatal Fury 3. So that's one on my hit list. But this is just fantastic. It looks amazing. It just, oh, honestly, it still plays amazing. I will have put some footage up of this. It looks sensational. It's got all the blood on. Oh, it's amazing. Awesome game. I'm over the moon with that, mate. That's just brilliant. And again, thanks very much for the extras, because they were all fantastic what you threw in, on top of the already great games we'd sort of arranged. So big thumbs up, Nick. Cheers, mate. And for God's sake, as I said, go check Nick's channel out. Click on the link in the description, because he's an amazing guy. He's got an amazing collection, and he does awesome pickup videos. It's just a dream what he's, you know, I'd never leave his house if I lived there. And there we go. That's the end of this special pickups episode. Let me know what you think. Been a bit of a crazy few weeks organising and receiving all this. I just need loads of time to play all this amazing gear now. But thanks for watching, and let me know what you think about all what we've picked up. The new backdrop, I'm not going to stick with it. I'll keep moving. I'll have changing things up. But let me know anyway. Thanks to any new subscribers. Great to have you along. And we'll see you soon, all being well. Sayonara.